Hello and welcome to the New Ulm Human Rights Commission. Today is Monday, May 19th, 2014. We're going to start the meeting by having a presentation of our essay and poster contest winner awards.
And I'll stand right up here so that you can all get on camera too. So, good afternoon. Maybe I can't. Am I too tall? I will have to go over here. Okay, yeah, we can do that. We're flexible.
Yeah, we can turn the mic towards you.
Okay. All right. Great. I'll let you get that. And now all that mess will be on the TV too.
It's all good.
Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Beth Sletta, and I'm here to present some very important and special awards to some winners we've had for our local Human Rights Commission contest for posters and essays. And the theme of this year's contest was Prejudice and Stereotypes Affect the Way We Perceive and Interact with Each Other, even when we don't realize it. How do stereotypes affect our society, and how do they damage human rights? This was really quite a challenging topic, and we are very pleased with the efforts of our winners. And we want to thank everyone who participated. So we'll get on to the presentation. The Human Rights Commission poster winners are, the second place winner was Desiree Hertling. She is unable to be with us today. She had a track meet. I'm not sure she's running track, but she had a track meet scheduled. And the first place in the poster contest goes to Kelsey Miller. So Kelsey, if you could come on up. We'd like to present you with the certificate. And here is your check. Yep. All right. Yep. And we'll call you up in a little bit to take some pictures. And then we also sponsored an essay contest, and our winner this year is Rachel Sloot. So Rachel, if you could come on up, please. And if you could stand next to me for a second, I want to tell something else about Rachel. In addition to winning the prize for New Ulm, Rachel also took third place in the entire state of Minnesota in the League of Human Rights Essay Contest. We are very proud of you. Thank you very much. Congratulations. The winning posters will be displayed at the New Ulm Public Library starting in the beginning of June, right when the kickoff of the library summer reading program starts, so you can all go check those out. And once again, we wish to thank all of you for participating, and other people who might be watching on TV, we thank you for participating. And we would now like to take some time to congratulate you in person and have your picture taken. So if you can come up on front, we would love that. All right. Do you want a picture with the mayor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Yeah. What did we decide was a good background last time?
I think we did, yes.
Yeah.
I think we had them standing here.
Do you want to go back there? And we'll move the chairs. You go right here. Right here. Yeah, yeah. So if you two want to come by the mayor, that would be, do you want to hold your certificates maybe? Would that, I'm sorry, now I'll send you back to your chairs.
We'll just congratulate them.
Member in there too as well, we think.
You should be in here too, Ed.
We'll get one. We can look like we're presenting. How about that? Mayor, we can present like this there. Get it? Okay, all right, congratulations. So if you'd like to, the commissioners would probably like to greet you, so. Congratulations. Good job. Sweetie, I'm glad you went.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm glad. Congratulations. Thanks for doing that. Congratulations. Do you want to send it back?
Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating.
Thank you for coming.
There goes our whole audience.
Well, not Bob. Bob is still here.
You're certainly welcome to stay, but we understand if you'd like to go. Thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, and by the way, I did send that press release to the journal. Did anybody see anything about the awards in the journal? No. I will send another press release with a picture.
Or maybe, I was going to say, or send a picture along, then they.
Yeah.
May I text that picture to you?
Yes, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that, Alma.
Oh, I didn't move my microphone, sorry, Ron.
Next on our agenda was a guest speaker, and she's not here, and I'm not sure if something came up. So let's move on to the approval of the agenda, and then when she's able to make it, if she is able to make it during the midst of our meeting, then we will have her speak to us at that time, if that is okay with the rest of the commission. All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes for the approval of the agenda as written. Did we all get a chance to read the minutes of the March 24th meeting? Our April meeting was canceled due to, was it lack of a quorum?
Yeah, I think so.
There was, so our April meeting was canceled. So, did we all get a chance to read the March minutes? If so, I would entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes of March 24th, 2014.
So moved.
Commissioner Wellman motioned.
Second.
Commissioner Ausfold seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. The next item that we have is we need to elect a new chair. And unfortunately, I didn't realize it was going to be so quickly, and I'm quite unhappy about this particular aspect, but I do need to resign from the commission due to residency requirements. It is a requirement to be on a New Ulm commission that you need to live within the city limits. And I am moving out of New Ulm. So I will need to resign. I haven't actually formally resigned as of yet, but I will be doing that because of my move. So in anticipation of that, we also need to elect a new chairperson. Is there anybody that would like to volunteer for that position at this point? Because the next thing I'm going to ask is for nominations. And I just want to remind you, we do need to have somebody chair in this commission.
Alma?
Do a really good job.
Part of my problem is that, I have some things going on with my family and family affairs that I might need to take care of, which might require me to travel. And I would not mind being the chair again, but I would need the chairs for the events or the education committee to be totally committed and know about what projects we're going to do and be able to take over. That would be my only problem. I need to maybe go to Mexico and Spain, and I am worried about that. I don't.
Well, how long would you stay there?
That's a problem. I don't know. It
A month,
depends.
2 months? Well,
It could be. It could be a month. I would say it
then
could
you'd
be.
miss one meeting. Very
Uh-huh.
big deal.
Yeah. Well, but that may have to go other places too. So that would be the only issue that I would have about taking the chairmanship.
And I think what we're hearing from Commissioner Marine is that we all do need to step up and make sure that that we know what's going on in the event that she does have to leave at the last minute. So there are two separate committees that we have. So if the people that are on those particular committees could make sure that they'd be willing and able to step in if she should leave, or maybe they could just chair the committee themselves, and we wouldn't have to rely on Commissioner Marine for everything. Then maybe it'd be easier for her to step away if she needs to go somewhere.
And I
that
do
what I'm
have
hearing from you?
I'm sorry, and I do have all the information for both the events and the education stuff that I've done. And as long as we, come up with a clear idea of what has to happen, what's going to happen, and we're going to do, I don't see any problem. But I do, that would need to be in place.
Are folks willing to do that?
I am.
Because the alternative would be that we might ask you to be the chair.
Would you accept a nomination under those stipulations that you
Yeah.
would?
I
And
would.
I nominate Commissioner Marine to take over the chairmanship of the New Ulm Human Rights Commission.
Second.
Any opposition? Especially from Commissioner Marine? All right, the motion passes then. Then with the commission's thanks, Commissioner Marine, who does a wonderful job as chair, has agreed to chair the commission again. Thank you. All right, the next item that we have is the Genocide Awareness and Prevention Month resolution. I don't have the resolution from the league as of yet, and so I'd kind of like to get an idea of what people are thinking about. If you would, we touched on it at the last meeting to see if people were interested, and I think that we had said that we were interested. Were you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I just really need to get that resolution to you so you can possibly present it to the city council and see if they're interested. And as I said, I don't have the resolution from the league. I was unable to attend the meeting. It was yesterday in Crystal. It was May 18th, 2014. I was unable to attend because of the move that I'm going to be making, and I didn't realize it was going to be as soon as it is going to be. So I was unable to travel to Crystal for that meeting.
Are you going to be on the state yet?
Well, that's something that I need to talk with you guys about. And do you want to skip to that right now, and we'll talk about the league?
That'd be
That-
great.
okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple of options. Right now, as it stands, I have been elected to represent the New Ulm Human Rights Commission on the League of Minnesota Human Rights Commissions board for through the end of 2015. And I would be able to technically sit on that board until the end of 2015. That's one option. I could come back and report to the New Ulm Human Rights Commission and let you know the updates of what's going on with the league on a periodic basis, like every couple of months, and let you know what is going on with the league, much like I did last year when I was sitting out that year in between my term limits. I could resign from the league and have somebody from the New Ulm Human Rights Commission go and be elected as part of that board. One last option, as you can see, there's a few options. One last option would be that I could remain on the league and have somebody else attend as well, and I could be an individual member. And so what I'm kind of wondering from each of you is there interest from any of you to be part of the league, to attend the meetings and represent the New Ulm Human Rights Commission at those meetings on the board of the league? I'm hearing from Commissioner Wellman, no. Okay. Is there anybody else that might be interested in being part of the league?
The Commissioner Woman said that she would be?
She
You
said
would
no.
not? Okay.
She was,
Sorry, I missed that.
she was good about saying no.
And I'm gonna say no because I work on weekends and
Mhm.
I never know when
Well, and the reason I really want to make sure that I want to make sure that I'm not passing anybody up
Mhm.
who is a little bit shyer or is not assertive in their in their wishes, because I would be happy to continue to be on the league, but I don't want to take that position from somebody else if they are
Yeah.
interested in doing it.
Commissioner Barros, you are interested in remaining in the league. I know that you like being in the league. I know that you are interested in the league. My preference would be that if you don't mind to keep us informed, at least for now, what's going on.
I'd be happy to do that, and if you'd like, maybe at the end of towards the end of this year, we could look at it again, and see if there might be some other folks that are interested in going, and that way, and then I understand, once I resign from this commission, then I won't get the reimbursement for the mileage. So that's an understanding that I would have, to go to those meetings. Up until this point, then there was reimbursement for the mileage because I was representing this commission. So
But
Oh,
can't
that's
we, can't we elect her to stay on and have her, no?
probably not. I'd be happy to attend the meetings on my own mileage and pay for the mileage myself, and to come over to these meetings and update.
This is just an aside question. I know that at some point there was a Human Rights Commission in Mankato. Has there been any? There's not one right now, right? There's not.
There's not a human rights, a Mankato human rights. There's a diversity council
Okay.
that I'm aware of. I don't know much.
And I was just wondering if there was any talks, or if you would be interested, or if there would be an interest in having a commission
There's
in Mankato.
That's a potential possibility.
Ability. Okay.
I don't know that they're interested in an actual commission, but I think that they,
Mhm.
I know at one time their city council was listed as representing, or that the Mankato City Council was their human rights commission.
Okay.
So
Good.
it's very different than the way New Ulm does there. Are you from Canada? So we can continue speaking about the league if you'd like. It sounds like you all would like for me to continue to represent, or at least to continue. I don't know that I'd be representing New Ulm, but going to the meetings and coming back and letting the New Ulm Human Rights Commission know what's going on with the league. Would that be permissible?
It worked the year that you were ineligible to be a member, and as long as everyone understood that you could not be reimbursed because
Okay.
you were not a member.
Okay. And that was fine for me at that
Okay.
time. It'll be fine for me for the remaining part of this year and the following year if you'd like for me to do it then. I would be very pleased to have somebody from the commission be part of the league if there's interest. And then we could actually both be on the league. And I could even step down into an individual member position and not... and then that person could come back and update everybody. But
I think we can see in the next year what happens, and if somebody is willing to do that, or maybe we get, a new commissioner, or
sounds good.
that's interesting.
Okay.
And if the roads aren't good or something, then you could probably email it here to someone and we could just read it.
Right.
Okay, that sounds
Yeah.
great.
Read it.
I definitely don't like to drive on those icy snowy roads. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Beth.
And to tell you the truth, that is part of also I see it as a problem belonging to the league. I missed already the big human rights convention last year because of the weather, and I just hate to promise and then be scared of driving.
All right. I see that our speaker from CADA is here, and I think that we should, can we take a 2-minute break, please? I guess we'll have to ask our video person. So do you want to just let her know where to? From our 2-minute break, we have Brittany from CADA here in New Ulm, and she is going to tell us about the services that they have at CADA.
Hi, well, my name is Brittany Wadowitz. I'm the Outreach Keep Me Safe Program Manager at CADA. I worked in New Ulm about, I left in New Ulm October, and I worked there for a year, and now I work in the Mankato office. Erin, who is the advocate from Brown County, was unable to make it today because she had some other stuff going on, so I said I would fill in for her. I just handed out one of our brochures. It talks a lot about domestic violence and some of our services, but what I'm going to do is highlight our services up, and if you open it up on the corner, the right-hand corner there, and just talk a little bit about what some of those services mean. So we work with victims of domestic violence and sexual assault, doing a variety of different things. We serve an 8-county service area, so Brown County is one of the areas. Blue Earth, Nicollet, Wanwan, Faribault, LeSueur, Waseca, Sibley. I think those are, yeah. So 8 counties in southern Minnesota. Those counties have an advocate that works there as well. And then our main office is located in Mankato. And that's where the Blue Earth Nicollet County office is located. And then we also have a couple of our other services are located in Mankato as well. So we provide 24-hour crisis intervention. So what that means is that if there is an assault that occurs, a couple different things can happen. Law enforcement will often call our 24-hour hotline to let us know that an assault had happened, and they'll give us contact information so we can follow up with the client right away, or maybe within 24 hours or so, just to offer them our services and talk a little bit about what happened, what their rights are as a crime victim, and things like that. Or if there is a serious assault or a sexual assault, we can respond to the law enforcement center, or we can respond to the hospital, just to explain our services and provide support at the time. A lot of times when people have been sexually assaulted, that's a really difficult thing to go through, and then to go to the hospital and have a forensic exam done is quite intrusive. So an advocate can be there just to kind of let them know, like, you're not alone in this, answer questions and let them know what their rights are as a victim. 24-hour crisis intervention also means that we just have someone who is answering the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So people can call if they have questions or something has happened and they're not sure what to do. Just someone who will go over their options with them. Let them know, you have the right to report to police and you have the right not to report to police. Why would you maybe want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to? And just kind of explaining that kind of stuff to them. And also that is a shelter advocate will answer that phone. So then if someone is looking for shelter, they can speak to that advocate about shelter as well. Short and long-term safety planning will look a lot of different ways. We are always doing safety planning with people all the time, no matter what. If they're telling us what's going on, if they're deciding to stay in a relationship or leave it, or whatever the case may be, we'll talk about safety and, how do you keep your home safe? How do you stay safe in your home and things like that. The other thing that we can do is a lot of times professionals will call and say, hey, I'm working with this person that is in a violent relationship and she needs to talk to somebody about safety. Can you come over? So we can go over and just do a safety plan with people and another professional, and that's one way that we can provide services without sometimes people feel a little more willing to access services if they're doing it in someone else's office. Emotional support is maybe pretty self-explanatory. I think one thing that is different about an advocate than someone in law enforcement or an attorney or something like that is that we are there to support that individual no matter what their circumstances are. Let them know that they have a decision, to make, whether they're going to stay in a relationship or leave it, if they're going to report something to police or not, all of those different things, and then letting them know that we're going to support them no matter what. We come from a standpoint that that individual is the one that has to live that life. We respect their decisions. We respect their ability to make decisions for their lives, and so then we can support them in that. That's not to say that law enforcement doesn't have a role. Obviously, they have a very different role, and we support that too. And sometimes that means we come in conflict with them, and then sometimes we're agreeing on things. But in general, we want to see violence end, but that's not always the same way that we do it. So I'm going to support that person. I'm going to believe that person no matter what. And then, other people are going to maybe believe them, but they have to look for evidence or whatever the case may be, and just explaining that too. Assistance in securing emergency services. So sometimes people will go to law enforcement first, or they'll go to the hospital first, and sometimes they'll come to us first. And then if they decide to report to police, we can go with them to make that report and just kind of be that support person. Legal advocacy. We can provide advocacy in both the civil and the criminal system. So if something happens and their partner is arrested, we can go to court with them or for them and answer questions, explain the whole process. How does a bail hearing work? What rights do you have as a victim? What information do you need from this hearing that's important for you, and different things like that. We can also act as a liaison. So if they don't want to go to court, but they want the prosecutor to know a certain thing, then we can tell that prosecutor for them, and they don't have to go to court if they don't want to. The other side of that would be helping with restraining orders, or if somebody has an ongoing custody thing going on with their partner that was abusive, divorce, things like that. We can help to answer questions. For restraining orders, we can sit at the table during a hearing with them and just provide support and answer questions. We can't provide legal advice because we're not attorneys, so we often have to explain that to people, but we can still answer questions as far as when the judge says this is the information she's looking for, or if you have this right, you can ask for this thing if you want to, and just letting people know kind of how that whole system will work. Systems advocacy is working with other professionals that are coming in contact with victims of domestic violence and sexual assault, and just working to make the whole system better. In Brown County, there are a couple of different agencies or groups that work on that. One is the Domestic Abuse Response Team, and that is made up of probation, law enforcement, county attorneys, child protection, counselors, therapists, and just anybody who's really interested in working on these kinds of issues. And they meet, I think it's once quarterly or once every 6 months or so, just to kind of talk about, what does domestic violence in Brown County look like? What is going on? What things do we need to work on as a team to combat violence? The other group is a sexual assault response team, which is very similar to the domestic abuse response team, just a different issue. So that will also have medical professionals that are doing the sexual assault exams. And again, just talking about, what is going on in the area, what can we do as a team to approach this and make this a better place for people to live and a better response. So then when victims are reporting, they're having a good, positive experience and feeling like they're going to report next time something happens, instead of feeling like, well, that wasn't good, I'm not going to do that anymore. So last year, then, those two teams came together, and they were in the Bavarian Blast Parade together, for example. So we walked in the parade, handed out candy, handed out information about sexual violence, which I'm sure people were thrilled to get at a parade, and just were wanting to be present in the community so that people knew that there was someone there who did care about what was going on. And I would say that in Brown County in particular, those teams are very active, and they work very hard to be a cohesive unit and just to be that presence, which some counties it's a little bit different. So I think that's something to be proud of here. Housing advocacy, we do have an advocate she works primarily out of the shelter, and then she will help people find housing after they are leaving shelter. But then she can also work with some people who are not coming to shelter but are still looking for housing, and she does that in Blue Earth, Brown, and Nicollet counties. mostly I think because that's closest to the shelter, that's where people are mostly relocating to. But she can help then get people connected to housing, and she does a little bit more follow-up. She can go on the home with people and help them talk about balancing their budget and safety planning and how do you navigate the school system, because that's pretty complicated. So all of those different things she can kind of help with. And that's primarily for people leaving shelter, but also people who are leaving a relationship and maybe don't need to go to shelter because they have family that they can stay with or something like that. So she'll provide that follow-up. We offer support groups and therapeutic counseling. We do have a therapist that we contract with, and she will see people for 1 hour for 4 to 6 weeks, and they do not have to bill insurance. Sometimes people don't want to bill insurance because they may not have left the relationship. They don't want their partner to find out that they're seeking therapeutic services, or they might not have insurance. So we have a grant that can help fund for her to see them, and then after that time has passed, she'll kind of work with them to figure out, what the next best step is for them. We also have support groups, primarily serving victims of domestic violence, and we have those in Blue Earth, Nicollet, Brown, and Waseca counties, and they meet one night a week. Brown and Blue Earth, Nicollet counties, they all do it continuously, and then Waseca does it on a kind of like every 10 weeks or something like that, a rotating basis. Information referral. So we try really hard to get people connected to different agencies. I know a lot about a couple of things, but I don't know a lot about one thing. I can say a little bit about this and a little bit about this and a little bit about this, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about all of these areas, and there are a lot of people who do. So we try really hard to make sure people get connections to those services that they might need, that it's going to be a little bit more than Advocacy can provide. And then community education, so doing presentations like these and going into schools talking about dating violence and sexual assault and how to stay safe, and then also what is consent, different things like that, just trying to provide education to people. So we also have 2 other services that are in the brochure there. One is the Parenting Time Center. That is located in Blue Earth County. Anybody can use it, but because it's in Blue Earth County, primarily it's Blue Earth County people who use it because of the drive time. But that is a place where if there is a reason why someone can't see their children unsupervised, they can do it there with a supervision. It would be a neutral party that would provide that supervision. And that's really beneficial if there's been child abuse or if there's been a lot of abuse that the kids have witnessed with mom or dad. And sometimes Child Protection will also make referrals there as well. And then the other thing that they can do is exchanges. So then maybe the non-custodial parent can have their child unsupervised. The court says that that's okay for them, but the parents, there's a restraining order or something that the 2 parents can't see each other or can't meet. So then one parent will drop the child off, and then the other parent will come, and they don't have to have contact during that time. And then the last service is emergency shelter. That the shelter can house up to, I believe, 23 women and children. That's how many beds that we have. And so depending on the number of children that we have and the number of women, that would look different at probably any time, any day. It's almost always full. And so most of the time we are getting people from our service area to fill the shelter. And then there's a service in Minnesota where shelters can see other shelters. So then if we have an opening, we post that, and then someone from a different place can come if all the shelters in their area are full as well. So that's a very quick version of CADA's services. Are there any questions about that?
Yep. Brittany, can we get your last name for the minutes?
Yes, it is Wadowitz, and that is spelled WOJTOWIC as in cat, Z as in zebra. Yep, I just spell it right away because people can't generally guess that one.
I wouldn't have guessed it.
I'm just going to ask a professional question. When you get a call from the hospital, do you require release of information, consents to then speak to this individual? Do you require that of the hospital or professional person?
Yeah, so what happens is the hospital has their own set of consents that they'll do to say, like, that you consent to having the exam done, you consent to us giving this, in New Ulm, for example, they don't have a place to keep the stuff for the kid, so then they have to do a consent for law enforcement to come pick up the kid, even if they don't report and things like that. So they have those kinds of consents. We don't necessarily have a consent that we have people sign for us. We generally don't do a release of information either unless that person is requesting it. A lot of times what will happen is that exam will happen and then there may or may not be follow-up service after that, depending on what happened. So we kind of let that person tell us what they want from us. So not generally, but
Okay.
good question. Good. Any other questions that people might have?
So, oh, go ahead, Commissioner Wellman.
Do you only help women?
Nope. Yeah, usually I say that at the beginning and I forgot. I apologize. We do help women and men. It's a common misconception that we don't help men, but a lot of the people we see coming in our doors are women. That's not to say that men can't be victims of domestic violence, but there might be a lot of reasons why they're not talking about it, not reporting it, not getting the help that they need. So, yeah, it's a good question, though.
My question is, so because a lot of people might be home watching this on TV. If they're a friend or family member, what's the best way that they can help their friend or family member who is going through
Right. Yep.
something like this? Does the person need to agree to services from you, or do they need to wait until something bad happens?
They definitely don't need to wait until something bad happens. Anybody can call us at any time. Sometimes there isn't a lot to do legally. So sometimes we are saying, there's no legal action that you can take right now to do this. However, this is what you can do to stay safe, or this is what you can think about or for the future, and just provide service that way. We do have a lot of people, friends and family, who will call just asking, I don't know what to do. This is the situation. I'm really worried about those kids, or I'm really worried about, my sister or whatever. And basically what we'll tell people is that it's always important to believe that person. So no matter what that, your friend or family member is saying, just to believe them, that, they wouldn't come to you with this if they were making up stories. They're probably looking for help. And even though... So the one partner that's being abusive might have a very nice face that they give to everybody else. A lot of times, I heard a speaker once say that he never met a perpetrator that he didn't like, because they do, they might do that on purpose. They might want to have this good face. So then when their partner is seeking help, they're going to be like, no one's ever going to believe you. I'm an upstanding member of the community. I donate money. I volunteer. No one's going to believe that I would do something like this. You're never going to be able to find help. So that's one way that they might cut someone off. So then even if you think like, gosh, I really don't think that person could do that, just believing them anyways, and supporting any decision that they make. We know that it'll take 7 to 9 times for someone to leave a relationship before they do so successfully. There are a lot of different reasons for that, but to support that person, so if they're on time 3 or 4, that can be really exhausting as a family member, because you want them to be safe, you care about them, but then they know that next time they can come to you and you're not going to judge them and you're not going to tell them what to do. So maybe they'll get out on time 5 then instead of time 7.
So it's important to continue to support the person regardless of even if they choose to go back to the relationship. Just keep supporting them.
And that's really hard, because I think a lot of times family members, there's a vested interest there. And that's a good reason for people to talk to CADA, because I don't have a vested interest in that person. I can provide that support, and obviously I want them to be safe and I want them to be okay, but I can provide that support without worrying about, how is that going to affect my family? Can I send my kids over there if I know that this is happening? Are my kids safe? It's very different. So it's a good time to refer to CADA. So it's good. Any other?
Is there a cost to the people that come to visit you?
Nope.
Okay.
None.
Can you talk a little bit about how you're supported? Do you receive grants? Or?
Yes. Yep. We are primarily granted from the Office of Justice Programs, OJP, and they do all of the crime victim services in Minnesota. So most of our funding comes from grants, and then we also do have fundraisers that we do during the year and donations from people in the community as well. Yeah.
Can you think of a way that this commission can help you? Whether sponsoring, advertising, maybe hosting a forum, or something that you would like to give it a thought and get back?
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing to think about, because I would say all of the above. We're always looking for donations. We have a lot of at MSU, for example, we'll spend a lot of time speaking in classes or going and sitting on panels and things like that. So anytime somebody comes to us with something, they're like, hey, we want to do a fundraiser for you. Is that okay? We're like, Yes, please do. That's fine. We can provide an advocate that would go, and could speak or could sit and be available for anything. Just let us know, and we want to be involved for sure.
Our
So-
job is primarily educational.
Okay.
So that would be within the framework of human rights.
Yep.
And the rights of women specifically, which, domestic violence is a part of it.
Sure.
But
And men.
maybe,
And men who are
excuse me?
and men who
And
are
men, yeah, I know.
abused or
Yep.
But, I personally would like to maybe meet and talk a
Sure.
little bit more about it and present it to the commission
Okay.
about what we could do.
Yeah. Well, and I can,
Best
yeah,
wish.
I have some business cards that I can maybe leave behind as well.
That would be great.
And then I know that someone's been contacting Erin, and she's going on maternity leave here, but then
Oh.
she would also be
Right.
available. Yeah. For stuff like that.
Good,
So, good.
good.
Any other questions that anybody might have? All right.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Brittany,
thank
for
you for
coming
the
in and
opportunity.
speaking with us today. We
Yeah,
appreciate
have a
you
good
coming.
night. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I would also like to thank Commissioner Marine because this was completely her idea.
Thank you.
I'm taking no credit for it, but it was a wonderful idea to have them come. So thank you and it just reinforces my thought that we, well, I didn't have anything to do with it, but that the rest of the commission had asked that you'd be the chairperson, and I'm feeling very comfortable that you will do a wonderful job, as you did
Thank you.
previously.
Yeah, I mean, and regarding women violence, I think I, as Human Rights Commission, maybe we can address the attitudes that foment or encourage that, and in the community in general. How can they help the community? I mean, a well-informed community obviously can put pressure so that there's no these things happening. And along those lines, before I talk about the speakers and topics, I have talked to Ruth Ann Webster, which is a member of the council, and I told her about what we were doing with CADA and the interest in the Human Rights Commission of doing something on violence against women, and she actually said she has a lot of contacts and some ideas for speakers.
Wonderful.
So I know there's coming on the agenda, and that is one thing I would like to tell this commission, that I'm going to meet with her, and she has offered to meet with me over coffee. And what I said is I would like to ask the commissioners if any of you would be interested in meeting with her too, especially the chairs of the events and the education committee, and see if she can suggest something.
Who do we have as the chairpersons of the
No,
two
I keep
committees?
forgetting. I know Commissioner Wellman is events chair. I thought Commissioner Sleda was education chair, weren't you? The education
I
chair?
don't recall.
I don't recall either. But whatever, we can check that out.
I think that sounds wonderful. I think that'd be a great idea, and I like the idea of the forum. I do want to say that I made a mistake, and I told them 4:30 today because that was
okay.
and it didn't dawn on
okay.
me at the beginning of the meeting. So I just want to say I apologize, and it had nothing to do with them. It was 100% me. So, and actually she was early, so. So, let's go to the speakers and topics. Commissioner Marine.
Well, first of all, what I would like to ask is anybody else has any ideas for topics or speakers besides maybe addressing women violence within the human rights context? Does anybody have any other ideas?
I know that it had been brought up earlier so to have somebody come in and talk about what is discrimination.
Okay.
What exactly is that? Because it looks different by the state and by the federal government. When it's got to do with employment and housing, it's different. So I think that might be an interesting topic if you're also inclined, if you want to continue to.
Right. Do you have any ideas of who
Interest-
a speaker would venue, or what would be a good way for the commission to address that, or provide some education?
Yeah, I could find somebody from the league to
Okay.
maybe talk about that. I know that there is somebody there, Patricia Nelson, who also talks about what are human rights and what are civil rights. She has a very interesting talk about the difference. I heard her speak on that at I think it was last year sometime when she talked about that. I'd also like to encourage everybody here at the commission to come to the league meeting, which has been planned to be June 22nd, and that's
Here.
unless there's a great opposition to that. I'm assuming that it's still going to continue to happen. I would really like to encourage everybody to go to that. I'm sorry, it's June 21st. It's a Saturday. That's right. We had all talked about that it would be a little bit better if it wasn't on a Sunday. So it's Saturday, June 21st at the Family Rec Center, formerly known as Vogel, which is what I know it as. The Vogel Rec Center. I'm not sure exactly which room it's going to be in, but
Is
and that'll
that-
be at noon. So if you're interested in meeting the folks from the league, and I don't know what's on the agenda for that particular meeting, but it'll definitely be something interesting.
That'd be good. And you already made the arrangements, correct?
I did.
And just let us know what else needs to be done from the commission.
Probably not a whole lot. I can bring whatever, some beverages and maybe some cookies. Do folks know who might be able to attend that meeting?
I will be there for sure.
Okay. Are there others?
And I'll bring cookies.
Oh, you're gonna bring cookies?
I'll bring cookies.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Are there other people that will be able to attend?
I'll try.
Okay.
I'm also planning to.
Okay. Wonderful. Hank,
I
you
won't
work.
know- Well, I don't know until,
might work.
because with vacations.
If you can make it Saturday, June 21st at Vogel. Are you guys interested, able? I don't know. Not sure.
I don't know yet.
Okay. So if you are able to come, it'd be wonderful. Like I said, I don't know what the agenda is for that day as of yet, but always got some very interesting things that they.
We'll have another meeting before then, right?
That's another thing I was going to ask Commissioner Marine. Typically in the summer, I don't think this commission meets. So I was going to ask what your thoughts were on when the next meeting was going to be.
I guess the only thing that I have on my plate right now that I wanted to discuss with the other commissioners is I also talk with, I belong to the League of Women Voters, and if anybody doesn't know about them, I have some brochures. And they take men too. You don't have to be a woman. It actually is some men that belong to the League of Women Voters. And one of the things that I was discussing with them is about maybe doing a joint program specifically about the right to choose your representatives, your leaders, as part, again, with the framework of a human right. And because they are also planning their programs and their speakers. And I thought that would be some synergy, or what's the word? It complements each other. So I wanted to ask if the chairs or any of these commissioners would like to have coffee again with the board of the League of Women Voters and discuss if there was something that we could find that we can do together. Basically, the right to vote and the right to elect your leaders. Is that something that any of you would be interested in discussing with the league? You guys can come. You can pass that one in here.
Sure.
Okay. We have one.
When do they meet?
You know, it's up to us. I told them that I would discuss it with the commissioners, and if anybody was interested, can meet usually it's sometime during the week in the mornings, that I don't know if works for a lot of you, maybe about 11 o'clock. Just to talk and see if there's something that we can, a program that they can do together. I think if we join resources, everybody benefits. So if you want, I can set it up and I can tell this commission when we're meeting, and does this commission feel that that is something that would be appropriate for this commission? The right to vote,
Yes.
the right to elect your, and how important it would be. They are in the business also in educating voters, and they're totally nonpartisan, by the way. But it's just the fact that they educate voters, and the fact that it's a right, and it's also, you know, responsibility to choose the people who represent you. So, and that's the other speaker or the other topic that I wanted to suggest today. Is that something that this commission is interested?
I would like to interrupt. I apologize. Do we have to be out of here at 5 o'clock?
I think so, yeah.
5:15?
Yeah,
Okay.
5:15.
I was just, okay, sorry.
So, did you get your answer, or did you?
Yeah, well, I want to
The
know if the
nods of the
commissioners
heads
are
and-
interested and they think it's a good idea to pursue. That it's part of our human rights program or, yes? Okay. So I will set it up, and if anybody's interested in coming and having coffee with the board, and like I said, they are planning the program. We're planning the program for next year. I know they have 2 speakers that they are going to propose to bring, which might just work very well for us too, as far as voter rights. And maybe we can do that to us with the league.
And I will send you emails if I run across some good speakers
That's
as well, through the league or not through the league. But there was one that I attended the annual meeting, and I thought that she was wonderful. It was about racism.
Sounds
So
good.
I can send
Great.
her
Great.
information on, and there's going to be another annual meeting in October. There was a thought about not having the annual meeting in February because of the weather, like you were saying
Right.
before. So they're thinking about doing it in October instead. So
And I also want to have an idea, if we sponsor a forum or a speaker, what would be a target date? Like in the fall?
I think in
October? November? Okay.
I think fall is a good time. It seems like that's when. Well, summer's would be a bad time, but spring, it seems like people are all honed in on graduations and
Right.
finishing school and those kinds of things. So I like that idea. Do other folks have thoughts?
Plus, you need some time to get it arranged and who can come, and I mean, that's probably, and they might be available too, as opposed to a summertime.
And maybe we can propose one speaker. Maybe the League of Women Voters can propose a speaker, and then, that complement each other.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep each other in check, so to speak.
Sounds good.
Very nice.
And so what's the schedule then, the date for the next meeting? We would meet when again, in June, July, or August?
What did we do last year? August.
The fourth Thursday in June will be June 23rd.
That might be a good time, like the last time before the summer, and then take the rest of the summer off.
And that'll also be 2 days after the
Until-
league meeting. So
Okay.
are you?
Is everybody,
June 23rd.
um, I would be all for just meeting in June and then maybe taking a month or two off.
Taking July.
That's what I would like.
We pulled together again last August, from what I'm seeing. So when's our next meeting then? June when?
June 23rd.
Okay.
And then, Commissioner Sletta, if you'd be willing to put in the minutes that if Lisa Grathow would be willing to continue to email, to keep me on the email list so that I can find out when, if meetings are canceled or when the next meetings are, then I can come back and update from the league. So I just want to make sure that, that we've covered everything. Are there any other items that we would like to talk about as far as 2014 speakers or topics? And I've already given the league update and talked with the commission about that. And the next meeting will be June 23rd, taking July and August off. Is that the plan? And then meeting in September, that probably?
Is that, yeah?
Then the September meeting, if you
Then
continue to go with the fourth
July and no
Monday,
August.
would be September 22nd. Monday, September 22nd, if you continue with the fourth Monday. All right. Is there any other business?
Yes, there is.
Oh, Mayor Boisman.
Yeah, it is with heavy heart that we have to do this, but rules are rules, and I don't always agree with all rules, but I have to follow them. So I have a small little certificate for you. Human Rights Commission presents this recognition award to Beth Burrows for service to the community by serving on the commission as a member from January 2013 to May 2014, given this 19th day of May 2014. This goes along with your previous one that you got about 2 years ago.
That I still have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we just have to get you to move back into law.
Where is she moving?
Thank you very much, Mayor Boisman and Commission. It was definitely with a heavy heart that I'm saying that this is my last meeting as official commissioner and chair. So I will miss you all, and this has been something that I've held near and dear to my heart for many years. So thank you for the opportunity to allow me to be part of the commission and for being able to sit on the commission with such wonderful cohorts and other commissioners as well. So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn if there's no other business.
I move to adjourn.
Commissioner Wellman,
A second.
and then Commissioner Christensen seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. The meeting is adjourned at 5 o'clock. Thank you.